A lot of people think that Mother Sita of the Ramayana was very meek and had no voice of her own. She followed her husband, Lord Rama, to the ends of the earth without questioning anything. She couldn't stand up for herself, let alone for what was actually right and wrong.
So, if you've heard any of this, just know that it's absolutely wrong.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashna Balasubramaniam and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to dispel some of the myths that the misinformation has spread about the character of Mother Sita in the Ramayana. So I recently read a book called The Forest of Enchantments. I read it in my iPad. It is written by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni.
हम कथा सुनाते राम सकल गुण धाम की.
Though there are a lot of shlokas in the different versions of the original Ramayana that talk about Mother Sita's strength, a lot about the other characters as well, somehow a lot of that got lost in translation, while retelling the stories. And as you all know, a lot of the stories are condensed to, suit and cater to the reader. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you a little bit of Mother Sita's character, and also I'm going to tell you why you should or shouldn't read this particular book, The Forest of Enchantments. I know that a lot of you may already be aware of the story of Ramayana, but then just for those people who are new to the Indian mythology or who are new to Ramayana, I'm going to be giving you a little bit of background. Lord Vishnu had two gatekeepers, Jaya and Vijaya. So one day, Lord Vishnu decided that he wanted to rest for a while, and he told Jaya, please don't allow anybody into my chambers. He resides in Vaikunta, right? So he tells Jaya, please don't allow anybody inside my chambers. I'd like to get a little bit of rest. And saying so, he goes on to take rest. And outside, Jaya and Vijaya fiercely guard the gates. At that time, there come four Kumaras called the Sanat Kumaras. They asked to be let in to see Lord Vishnu.
But the guards who had to obey their master, Lord Vishnu's commands, did not allow the Sanat Kumaras to get in.
So the Sanat Kumaras cursed the gods Jaya and Vijaya, saying that they will be born as mortals on earth and go through all the sufferings that mortals, of course, like we human beings, go through on earth. And obviously, as immortals, this is really a curse for them, because back there in Swarga, that is in heaven, they don't have to go through such ordeals, right? So Jaya and Vijaya, they run to Lord Vishnu and plead at his feet and say that this is what we've been cursed as and we were just doing our duty. And Vishnu saw the reasoning in that, and though he could not take back a curse placed by somebody else on them, he told them that he would lessen the burden of the curse. So he gave them two options. The gods could take up 7 mortal lives on earth where they are devotees of Lord Vishnu. They fulfill all their duties on earth and then they come back to Vaikunta. The second option that they had is that they get to live only 3 lives on earth, but in those 3 lives they will be the enemy of Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu himself will come on earth to cause their death. And because Jaya and Vijaya couldn't bear to stay away from Lord Vishnu, they immediately chose option number 2, where they have to take up only 3 lives on earth. So with this, the whole concept of the Dashavatara, that is Lord Vishnu's 10 avatars, was born, and which is why we have the Ramayana and we have the Mahabharata and a lot of other stories. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the book of The Forest of Enchantments, written by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni, and this book deals with Sita's perspective on the Ramayana. I'll give you a synopsis of the book. The book covers the childhood of Sita Ma, her getting into the marriageable age, that is she got married when she was about 16, and Rama was just like a few years older. I think he was 17 or 18 at that time when he got married. And it also covers her arrival to Ayodhya, how life was for her in Ayodhya, and how she was banished to the forest for 14 years, and at that time how she was kidnapped by Ravana, and how she lived her life in Lanka, and later when she was reunited with Rama, and then of course like they weren't together due to a lot of forces coming into play, all the things that she went through until she left her earthly form. So these are various aspects that have been covered in the book. And contrary to what people think, that Sita was a very weak character, she had no say in things, that is not at all true. Sita Ma was one of the greatest warriors. She was very skilled and trained in combat and self-defense from her childhood. Her queen mother Sunaina ensured that she went through all such rigorous training so that she would not just be able to defend herself but she would also be able to fight back. But Sitama was a very compassionate person. So she believed that a fight should happen only in terms of self-defense and not unnecessarily to hurt anybody. Another very important part in that book that I liked was that the book in very detail explores all the emotions that Sita went through whenever situations came. She had to endure a lot, of course, but then how she held her strength and at what time she felt pain and when she felt happiness, all of that have been very beautifully depicted in this book. So in multiple parts of this book, I found myself crying. So I've read the Ramayana retelling in a lot of books, but then none of the books really made me cry. I felt sad, but then it was not such that I bitterly cried or anything as such. But when I read this book, right, like all the pain that Mother Sita would have gone through, and the way it has been beautifully portrayed, I just cried in a lot of places. I cried unbearably, and especially towards the end. The story has been taken very beautifully, and the story does justice to a lot of characters who we do not hear much of. So the story does justice to Mother Sita's mother, that is the Queen Mother Sunaina, and you all know Dashratha's wife, King Dashratha's wife Kausalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi. It also explores the backgrounds as to why they did what they did, all the things that they went through, and it also does justice to the story of Ahalya. So Ahalya was cursed by sage Gautama and she was turned into a stone for no fault of hers. She was caught cheating with Indra, but Indra had taken on the form of Gautama and betrayed Ahalya's trust. So because of this, Gautama was very furious and he cursed her. But then he also realized as she was turning into a stone that there was really no fault of hers. So he reduced the burden of that curse because he couldn't take it back, saying that one righteous person will one day come by here, and when that person touches you, you will turn back into the form of a woman. So even that story, it tells you the story of Ahalya from her side. And additionally, you also get to hear the story of Shabari. And of course, Shabari is a very prominent character in the Ramayana because Shabari was a very old woman who was, waiting for Rama for years and years. People mocked at her saying that, why will Lord Rama come and all of that. But then because her guru had told that one day Lord Rama will come, she had stored a lot of fruits and she had bitten into each fruit just to know if they still taste sweet so that she could offer that to Lord Rama. And it's a very beautiful story, it's a very touching story. So if you read about Shabari, right, though this one history of Shabari has not been mentioned here, Shabari in her previous birth was a very rich princess. Because she couldn't devote her time to God and spirituality, she prayed that in her next life she would be so poor that all that she could think of was God and spirituality. So that was granted, and that is why she was reborn as Shabari. Of course, that aspect is not covered in the book. And additionally, we've all heard of Surpanaka, right? Surpanaka is the one who is probably one of the major causes of the war in Ramayana. And we also get to see Surpanaka's side of the story. In addition to that, we also get to see Ravana's wife, Mandodari, Queen Mandodari's story. So Mandodari was a very pious woman who had to go through a lot of ordeal because of Ravana's acts, and you can also see her side of the story. And let me tell you, it doesn't end there. You also get to see Vibhishana's wives, Sarama's story, and there was a kind Rakshasi when Sita was captured and kept in the Ashokavana. Her name was Trijata, and you can also get to see her perspective a little bit. So basically, all of the unsung heroes who have been left out due to retelling, the author has done a very good job of giving us a perspective, us a peek into their lives and what they went through. It is so beautifully written that it will touch you in a way that you feel the pain and happiness of those characters. I thoroughly enjoyed reading this book, and I would recommend this book to everybody, man or a woman. A man because a man gets to understand a woman's perspective by reading this book, and a woman because you finally feel very understood when you read this book. So I highly recommend this book. I would rate this book a 4.5 out of 5 because it gives the readers the closure that they need when it comes to a lot of characters in the story. Of course, there was one question that went unanswered, and if I'm wondering if that would be a spoiler if I tell you the question. I could not find it in any of the books nor in this book, but at least this book asked the right questions. So, in her dream, in Mother Sita's dream, she sees the vision of a very prominent person. I don't want to give out spoilers here. And then she asks that person a question, and then just before answering that question, that person disappears. So till the end, I never got an answer to that question, and because I don't want to drop in spoilers here, I don't want to tell who that is and all of that. But I just wish I had my answer to that, at least from any of the books that I know.
I just decided to add a footnote to this video because some of us wonder if Ram was right or if Sita was right. But then I have to tell you that both were right in their own ways. Both of them loved each other truly, but the situation was such that they both could never get to be together. As they had taken their birth on earth as mortals, they did not use any of their magical powers to stay together. In addition to that, there was also sage Narada's curse on Vishnu that he would never get to be with the love of his lives in all of these avatars that he takes up. So, if you see, even in Mahabharata, Krishna never gets to be with Radha. So, the same thing happens even in Ramayana, where Rama never gets to be with Sita in the end. So, it all works out in such a way that they tell you how much of how much karma plays a role in all of these things.
So if you loved watching this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, like and share this video with your friends. And also, I'm going to be posting videos on all 9 days of this Navratri season. This is day 3 of Navratri, and I will be posting a book review or anything to do with Navratri, mostly book reviews only, because I don't have anything else in mind that I'm going to plan for, because I want to recommend good books, credible books that you can pick up and you can read. So please stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much for watching. Stay happy, stay blessed and stay kind, and enjoy the season of festivities. Bye.
हम कथा सुनाते राम सकल गुण धाम की, हम कथा